pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Chairs are squeaking tonight.
Right. All right, Schrader,
Here.
Bowman,
Here.
Demott, Kelly,
Here.
and Consummate's here. Welcome back, Gary.
Open meeting compliance.
The meeting agenda was posted on April 2nd on the Town of Fort Winnebago internet calendar, as well as at Northside Automotive Repair, and the meeting notice was sent via email to the Portage Daily Register.
Very good, thank you. The agenda, I'm happy if you guys are.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as written.
Here we got a motion, the second, to accept the agenda as printed. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, motion carried. Brings us down to our minutes from our February meeting.
Oh.
First page went by pretty
That very
fast.
good, yeah.
Well, I read through them and I didn't see anything that could be corrected.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for March,
February.
February.
Okay.
Today's March.
Yeah,
February.
No, this
Oh,
is
these are
March minutes.
Yeah, these are March minutes.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
we're in
good.
April.
I'm sorry. I lost the whole month. All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the March minutes as printed. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Very good. Now we move on to the treasurer's report.
All right. So in March, for deposits, we did get the February specials from the county, which are the people who paid their taxes after January 31st for their garbage and recycling. So we got those. We did get one trip interception payment, which is an aged fire bill that we intercepted through the TRIP program to pay that. So it was $541 we got there. We did get the invoice from the Diamond Property fire bill, a couple dog licenses, and then another fire call for the Buckles property, and then the county aid reimbursement. So the half of the $12,000 we paid to the county for the aid reimbursement.
And Walker Wheeler.
Did I miss that one? Oh, yep. Fire call, the Walker Wheeler fire bill as well. So we got quite a few fire bill repayments this month. LGIP, we just had the interest, which was at 3.69% still going for March. Expenditures are the list of bills that we went through and discussed at the February meeting. No, the March meeting. Now I did it too. Yep.
I can go through the financial if you want.
Okay, so the financial position then leaves us with a total of $768,755 overall. 584, almost 585 in the LGIP trust account or the savings account there. Then budget-wise, and I don't know, I assume we're going to look at that a little bit more in depth possibly later. But budget report-wise, everything's looking strong. Big thing at this point, obviously, is just the tax money that we took in that is now done until the July deadline, where the county collects any of the remaining monies there. So all that's balanced out and ready to move on. But looks good.
Motion to approve the treasury report.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion, a second to approve the March's treasurer's report as printed. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, and then we had a road inspection meeting that the board went on with crack filling services. You guys probably seen some minutes on that someplace. Anybody want to approve the minutes on that?
Yeah, I'll approve the minutes. for the road repair.
I second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the March 31st road inspection. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Can I ask who made the motion?
And then,
Thank you.
citizen input. Anybody got anything they wanna bring up? Yes, and
If a plow hits a sign, does the county have to pay for the fixing of it, or
there's
does the township?
a fine line there. You see, if they actually hit the sign with the wing, the county might pay for it, but if it was the force of the snow coming off the end of the wing that knocked the sign over, then it's ours.
Well, there's one down,
On Hogan.
I can fix it, but
No, it's on Hogan Road.
Yeah.
I called it in,
somebody said the plow hit it, I don't know.
Jeff Thompson called me, must've been last Friday, and of course, the county's under 4 days now, so I texted or emailed our supervisor Monday, which is today.
But they didn't know either, probably,
Well, they didn't know, no, they didn't,
yeah.
it'll probably be our sign.
Is that a road sign,
It's a curve,
curve sign?
90-degree corner,
Yeah.
when you're coming,
It doesn't look like the post is actually broke, it looks like it just pretty much, it's all sand down in
they
there,
just leaned over.
yeah.
And they
So,
might-
I mean,
Yeah, I called it in so that somebody will get out and fix it, so.
yeah, well, it's not that difficult,
No, it's just one of those things.
I know, but I know how much they charge here.
Well, if we don't have to replace the sign, it won't be quite so bad.
So they don't have to replace, I don't think I didn't get out and look at it, I'm gonna do that on the way home, but, if the post is broke,
Then they'll have to put a post, and then, of course,
sign's fine,
then we look at the sign and see if it's, how the reflection is, if it's getting kind of dim, then we'll put a new sign on it too.
yeah, that don't help the plow.
No, it was a tough snow, let's put it that way.
Oh, I know,
There was,
I
there was a lot of damage.
In the gym. The
know,
gym.
Oh,
I'm not complaining
No,
about
no,
it.
no,
The shoulders weren't, froze anymore, and it sucks to be right in
It
there,
was
so I
bad,
know
yeah.
how that works.
bad deal. Been there, done that, haven't you?
A few years,
Yeah.
I miss it.
Anything else? Alrighty then, thanks. So, like I said, if you wanna stop and look at it and let me know, that's fine, but
Well, the
otherwise,
post isn't broke,
don't risk your life parking in the road there though and trying to fix the
yeah, I
sign.
ain't gonna worry about it.
Alright, thank you. Guess we're on to the old business, which is a new town hall discussion. I guess Kent, you've got us some figures there. If you guys have any discussion you wanted to?
I put a few slides up here that Kent sent me. Kent, so I don't know if you want to talk through them at all or.
Yeah, I actually made some copies of this for you guys if you want them to. So everybody's got a copy. I got 10 sets here of the cost estimate and of the building plans.
Okay.
When we met last time, you guys were looking at what the different options are for a town hall project. And so you had given me something that another township had done. And I looked that over and I can't use their work. So what I did was I just sat down and I put together something that's similar, but when it's all said and done, it's a very different looking project. The room layouts are different. I changed some things around that I didn't think made a lot of sense on the other plan. And when it's all said and done, I got something that's pretty workable and not overly expensive. Well, depends on how you look at it. And tried to come up with something that was efficient. Then I put together a cost estimate on that. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is when I put together the cost estimate, I was very conservative. I think it'll come in significantly under that. But how much under that, I can't tell you. So I put together the cost of the building. The building came in at about 310,000. And then the site work came in at another 121,000, and the soft costs were about another 85,000. Well, the soft cost consists of a $22,000 contingency. The contingency is a what-if fund. What if you get out there and you find, I don't know, some spotted frog or something out there that delays everything, and then you have your costs increase, that type of thing. Stuff like that does happen. So I try to plan for the worst, hope for the best. So, but this does include a 20 stall parking lot. The building, the landscaping, it would be a completed project when it was all done, all said and done. The only thing that isn't figured in there is furniture, legal land surveying if it's needed, and soil borings if they're needed, not likely. So, but when it's all said and done, if you could go to the page that has the floor plan. There. What I had put together is very similar to the other one where you walk into a vestibule. The main meeting room is 30 feet by 32 feet. Give you a large town office, fire rated storage for a 2-hour fire rating, and then a restroom, and a mechanical room. It's not a lot of frills, not a lot of extra fluff, but it's got all the components you need to do the project. And what I had figured on this, I'm not one that will put a heating system up in an attic. It's a horrible design to do it that way, because what happens is all the heat escapes into the attic, melts the snow off the roof. You wind up with ice dams and problems that way. So what I did was I figured a 10-foot ceiling height, and then we're going to drywall the ceiling, and then we put the ductwork right tight to the drywall, and then hang a suspended ceiling below that. It's a good system for putting this together where you wind up without having issues with the heating system and cooling system being in the attic. So when it's all said and done, you put everything together. The estimate came in at 518,000. Realistically, I could see it being, it's going to be between 400,000 and 500,000 with all the site work and all the rest of it. Can I tell you it'll be 400,000? No. The bidding market is very volatile right now. But the one thing I will say is contractors getting hungry right now. There's not near as much work as there used to be. Yeah.
So what is the seating capacity at 30 by 30?
At 30 by 30, you're at about 900 square feet. And what's 900? Somebody got a calculator. What's 900 divided by 15? I believe it's about 45 people. We got the one young punk in here on his phone already.
60.
60.
900 divided by 15.
So you've you got enough room that you can fit 50, 60 people in there without a problem. It'll be tight for sure, but 15 square feet per person is what the state considers for determining capacity in a room with non-fixed seating.
What's the requirement on the number of windows you have to have in a room like that? Seems like a lot of windows.
0. You're not required to even have one.
Oh, so we could remove windows, because to me, windows are a lighting issue.
Well, yeah, but it's also something that while you're sitting in the town hall, you can look outside and
Sure.
look out at the cow, at
I
the red
think the
cows and
less-
the geese. And
Okay. But we're not required to have them.
No, you're not required to have a single window in there. And, every window you put in there is a breach on your insulation system, and it's also a potential spot for somebody to break in.
Right,
But,
it's maintenance.
Being that said, it's nice to have windows.
Yeah.
If you notice, there aren't any windows in the fire rated storage area. This is set up so that, you have some security.
It's not required to be sprinklered or anything like that, right?
Nope, not until you get above 12,000 square feet.
Okay.
Flooring wise, I see maybe you had wood on the floor. If you got a cement slab, can a guy do epoxy and chips like they do?
You could.
I don't know how that would cost
I gave
wise.
you a $7 a square foot budget, which is pretty generous. You could put carpet tile, you could put the chip floor, you could put any number of different things. VCT or luxury vinyl plank or I put enough budget in there, you can afford to put something in nice.
Well, good.
Do those doors, is it requirement that they need to be a double door?
No,
So they could be a single?
they could be a single.
I also think we don't need two of the big fancy aluminum. Like one of them could just be a standard steel door. Like it's just an extra, right?
Right.
I mean, it's,
They want,
don't
like,
need the big fancy
they want,
doors for,
the exit out of the room, yeah.
right.
You gotta have two means.
Well, right, but they don't
It
have
doesn't
to
have to
both
be-
They
be
have to
the big
two double
fancy.
windowed stores.
Well,
Front door
security-wise,
type.
security-wise,
Be better
a
to
steel
not.
door would be a
Mhm.
better-
And that was, that budget item for the aluminum storefront was $5,400 for this and $5,400 for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So eliminating one is a lot.
Something a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah.
But again,
Sure.
I was pulling together something quickly. I've worked on town hall projects ever since I started. I did the Caledonia Town Hall in 1992, my first year at General. But I've done town hall projects for the town of Packwaukee, town of Shields, town of Caledonia, town of Kingston, town of Packwaukee, town of West Point. I've done a bunch of town hall projects. in my
No,
career.
I was questioning I was just more wondering what the requirement was, whether we had to have it, that's all. Yeah.
No, that-
We are required to have two bathrooms. You can't use a unisex one in
you are
a
required to
public,
have two bathrooms.
public facility like that.
Yes.
Outhouse.
He's got it in the budget, it was 18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got, all the numbers in there for a septic, well, the whole shoot match. This is getting a project that you can use.
Do you normally recommend, when you're even putting this together, do you normally recommend shingled roof or steel roof now?
Honestly, I prefer shingled roof.
You do?
Because a steel roof, you pick a color, all of a sudden the color goes out of style, or there's hail that comes through. Now replacing your roof is way harder to replace, and I've not been a big fan of a metal roof.
Well, any other comments, questions? Thank you very much. We really appreciate you going
Yeah.
through the effort. And I know
Happy to
it's,
help out.
it's time consuming and we appreciate the fact that we've got somebody in the town that's able to even accomplish such a feat, so.
I'm happy to help you guys out on any part of this you want. If you want, I can help you with the design. It's small enough that it doesn't have to have state approved plans. And I can help with the design, I can help with the construction, I can help with whatever aspect you want.
Okay.
I can do as much or as little as you want, or I can do nothing.
The stormwater, is there a plan for stormwater in that too, or?
There is gonna be a stormwater requirement. So yeah, there's gonna be some engineering required for that, and most likely a small retention pond.
There's a pretty good flow comes down just to the north of that. If they're gonna go with what I proposed to them, there's a pretty good flow coming down from the east to the ditch there.
Mhm.
But it's to the north of the property. I measured out like 207-foot square thing just to get an idea. That's pretty close to an acre
Yep.
from what I looked up.
Yeah, real close.
And it's just to the north of that. We might have to have a little ditch way to divert the water to the north just a little bit. And then they'll be stripping the topsoil out and putting in
You mean the brown sand?
brown sand there.
Oh, isn't it? It's actually real topsoil in Columbia County?
Well, it's not Dane County soil, but there's clay in it. But anyway, they'll be putting in a base and all that, and elevation will be raised up above the rest of the field anyway, so
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah, I don't do projects where the building is in a hall.
Right, well, no,
It's just a bad way to put it.
So I have a couple questions about this deal.
Okay,
because I don't get a chance to vote on it, so I need to get some answers. So what kind of restrictions are there around this building?
Basically, no restrictions as far as traffic. I mean, it's the adjacent properties would have no restrictions. The farming would be farming around it, and whatever buildings are there would be operating as normal. And as far as zoning, this project does not take away a building. You don't have to put 35 acres with this, since it's town hall, commercial type building. The only land that'll change status would be the acre or whatever amount of land it's put on. That would be the only zoning change, and it would not affect any of the surrounding acres as far as future building sites or ag or anything else.
Well, what I'm, because this is gonna be like right on top of us. And I wanna know, is there things that we are not gonna be able to do? Someone had made comment to Mike that you can't shoot a gun within how many?
They said 100 yards, but it's not, it's 200 feet.
So I mean, if he was to go up there to sight his rifle in, is that a problem? Or, I mean, we don't want to get into problems with stuff like that.
It's no different than if you have a house that's 200 feet from a building.
And then that's only without permission. I mean, if you wanted to come over to my place and hunt off my back deck, as long as I gave you permission, you can shoot the gun from that distance. But if you're otherwise, you know, you got your 200 feet, but yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, but isn't it a different ordinance in Columbia County? Or does it have to be called out in Fort Winnebago? Because I think it's a different ordinance for the county. It's like 220 yards from a municipality, and this would be considered a municipality, would it not?
I suppose it might
Because it's a
be.
public building.
Yeah,
It's a municipal building.
yeah.
Yeah, so
But it ain't gonna be-
No,
I think the township though can
I would,
come up with their own, so if they want to copy the state or make, the way I read it anyways. But I think they have a valid concern.
I guess I'd have to do some more research and to make sure, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think the town, if the town has any say to give you leeway, I mean, there's not gonna be people there 24/7 where you're disturbing
Well, and
anybody.
nor is there with us, you
Yeah,
know.
and I mean, maybe tomorrow on election day, maybe you wouldn't wanna go out and necessarily do it, but
Oh, no.
you know, on most days, there won't be anybody there to even police what you're doing unless, you know.
That was another question that I had was, is it only gonna be elections and your meetings? That's
Yeah.
all that's ever gonna be in that building?
As far as we know, it's not gonna have a kitchen, it's not gonna have things like that. I mean, I guess the most, you might see maybe a 4-H club might wanna hold a meeting or something, but as far as, it's something we really haven't.
It's got a capacity of 60 people in a parking lot for 20. It's really not feasible to host a wedding or something
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just,
No, you got concerns and we appreciate that, and we want to address them before we get any further to where it would bother you. Of course, we haven't got this far yet. Nobody's voted even to let us do it yet, so.
yeah.
So,
Well, like I said, we don't get a choice in that
Right.
because we can't vote out here.
Right, absolutely.
But,
Change your address.
can't do
Change
it
your
anymore.
address.
Yeah, change your address.
Kelly's son took it away.
so the driveway, now, is that your driveway gonna be moved from that spot where the driveway is now going in?
Okay, we have no idea yet, I guess, where, I
You're
mean,
not gonna be able to move it too far because because of the hill.
Right.
so the driveways would probably be very similar.
If it comes around, then you've got something to talk about for the driveway.
Yeah, okay.
After it gets approved and whatnot.
Is that gonna be blacktopped up there or just gravelled or?
The price that I put together is a blacktop parking lot.
Such
Yes,
a
sir.
I got for you guys.
I've tried to keep up with some of the minutes online and stuff. I don't understand the why.
The why?
The why.
The why for a
Why
new?
were you thinking about building this?
Well, right now, we're in this room tonight, but normally we had it cleared out. Mark and we spent an hour clearing this room out for the election tomorrow because they got all these big heavy desks in here and one guy can't even handle them. You gotta have two people. And then the storage room we got down there is so small with the equipment we got, that monitor was damaged, then destroyed basically 3 months ago, and then we got this new one, and this one's already been banged up once trying to get it into the storage room there, where it's you just you got your tables, you got your chairs, your voting equipment, and it's just kind of very inconvenient and kind of costly. And I mean, it's not the end of the world. This has worked. It's just one of those things that it would be easier. When we do use the sound system and what we're using here, we've got, 45 minutes to set up for a half-hour meeting, which there again is not a big deal and can be done, but it's just somewhat inconvenient. And
Another good example. I take the owl home because the storage room is this, and it's a expensive piece of equipment. So we hate to leave it to be damaged. And I forgot it at home. So I got all the way here and had to drive back home and pick it up because it was there and not here. And
security is another thing. Voting equipment security, we've been hearing about that for 4 or 5, 6 years now. And it is locked in a storage room, but everybody in this building has a key to that room. The blocks are all the same. And so, and that room has to be accessible for fire inspections and anything else that might happen. And so the security in that room is basically nil. And so that's another issue. And it's not, like I said, it's not got to do it because we have no place to meet. We're here, but it's just one of those things that.
You've been doing it here for a while.
1960. Yeah, 63. Yeah.
You weren't even born yet, Dan.
Well, you just talked about it.
Dan was 3 years old at that time.
Well, the other thing that I think about too is being that we don't have any ties to this building, at any point in time, this building could be flipped. And then all of a sudden, we gotta find another place to go. And it just seems like I've been hearing that it's kind of an inconvenience for us to meet.
Well, like
Treat
tomorrow,
us like an
they shut school
inconvenience.
down for the election tomorrow. So there won't be any kids in the building. So that's an inconvenience for them, but there again, they aren't necessarily going out of their way for us now either. So, and that is part of the process when CISA bought the building, is if they sell the building, then our lease on it or our use of it is gone. So that would be, but I don't see that happening. Of course, it's a federally funded program, so we don't know what we're seeing. So,
To continue on, have you discussed, let's say it moves forward, is there a maintenance budget for the new facility?
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. What are the operating costs? Because there's power, you're gonna have to have power on all the time to keep it to a certain
Yeah.
temperature.
Mark has done some research on that. He's called other towns and talked to their people and found out what was going on. You want to talk about that, Mark?
Yeah, I just put together this little spreadsheet basically looking at, and I actually went back to 2021 when I took office because I wanted a little bit. Another thing that kind of happens is when I started, we were renting a storage unit to have our records in, and then one of the things that I felt like it was costing us $540 a year to do that. So I ended up taking those records and storing them on my own property to save the town some money. And it is in a locked facility, and they are supposed to be under the care of the clerk. So I'm legal, but it is still on my own property. And if there was a fire, that would be really terrible. But at the end of the day, so I put that on there, put what we're paying for rent. I put down what normal, like electricity. I did some research from other towns similar size, what it would cost for propane, if we had to pay mowing, snow removal, somebody had to come clean the building. Just did kind of a cost thing just to kind of show like what it could cost us versus what we're currently already paying. So
and the bottom line is what we're looking at,
3,300 versus
versus.
what used to be 1,040 and now is only $500 a year for rent for this building. Great.
Yes, sir.
Mark, do you have to carry additional insurance with all that, the records and everything, or?
Should I is a better question. Yeah, I don't,
Okay.
but should I? Probably, yeah.
And that should be added to that spreadsheet too. What are the insurance costs for this building?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
didn't think
we
that
kind of
way.
talked about what we're currently paying for insurance already, and we didn't add that to this because
No.
I didn't get a number on that. But that's a good question. That should be added. So
Yeah, we would have to. Yes, sir.
Question for Mr. Fish.
Yes.
You mentioned helping with the project. I assume that would be through general engineering. Do you have standard costs that you charge, depending upon what that level is that you're helping, like a
I
general
do.
contractor or?
I do. And if you go back to the cost estimate.
Yeah.
At the bottom end of you had everything up here, adds up to 431,000. And this is a shot in the dark. I said 15%. Worked out to 65,000 for design, construction management, the whole works. There wouldn't be a general contractor on that with this option. If you chose to hire a general contractor, then the numbers would be the same, and instead of paying general engineering for this, you'd be paying a general contractor for this. So, I mean, when it's all said and done, it's like I say, I think the cost estimate is high, but how high, I won't know till it actually gets bid out. Yes, sir.
Could you recap your big ticket numbers? You had like 310 for the building, and you had 85.
Correct.
Could you recap what that was again?
Yeah, what I did, keep in mind, I've done several town hall projects, and I did it as a designer and a construction manager, which means I bid out 21 separate contracts. So the 21 contracts are building materials, heating, electric, plumbing, excavation, concrete, carpentry, and so on. There's 21 different things, and that includes well, septic, landscaping, and parking lot. And then I put an estimate on each, based on each one of these items, and that's how I arrived at these numbers. And I was conservative with the numbers that I put together. Yeah, like for example, like flooring, I put in $7 a square foot. $7 a square foot gets you some pretty nice flooring. That's $63 a yard or whatever it is. So you can get flooring for $40 a yard. You can get it for $30 a yard. But I wouldn't put that in.
And just, to let you know, it's something we're looking at. The residents of the town will have on the 21st, that we're meeting?
Yep.
Tuesday, April 21st, we'll have our annual meeting, and we were gonna hold a vote on it at that meeting to see how many people were in favor of us moving forward with this at all. And, whether they want to put a cap on it, we showed that we got money in our budget, but I'm one that don't want the town broke. You never know, we're gonna get 5 inches of rain tomorrow and washing roads and culverts out, or wind come through, or, you're always got maintenance and you always got cost. And, I've been doing this for 30 years and we've built up a fair amount of funds there. And I don't want my own personal account to be broken. I don't want the town's account to be broke, because well, I'm not gonna be here forever, and the next person, I don't want them to have to be scratching around and letting the roads go to pieces because we can't afford to fix the roads because we spent all the money on the town hall. But that said, you know, it'll be up to the residents, and we can afford to move forward to a certain point, and I guess we'll have to determine where that goes. So if, yes, sir.
Don't wanna be a Debbie Downer here, but
That's okay.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate. It's like some of our other city buildings in the neighborhood, they don't have any maintenance budgets for like, what happens when a roof wears out? There's no money getting put aside for that, or when a furnace gotta be replaced, or. Then they come back to the taxpayers for more money, they gotta fix it. Is there any provisions for that?
I was gonna say, I would assume that, so for years, or at least since I started doing it and before me, we do put certain percentage and interest in percents of the interest and everything into what we call our restricted fund. It's really just our saving, a portion of our savings account monthly. And so we would continue to do that. And that's how we've come up with the funds to be able to do this in the first place, is by doing that savings. So we would continue to do that to continue to grow that extra buffer and savings on top of what, like you said, we're trying to leave behind.
And what line item is that on your budget that has these funds in it?
So then when we're on when we were looking at that the financial statement, yeah, I think we can go back to it. There. So when we're looking at the financial, you see we've got the restricted account and the unrestricted account. That they're all our trust account. This whole thing as a whole is just one account, but we, in our booking, keep it into two separate lines so that we have, so the restricted funds are funds that we never ever touch. They are the ones that we just continue to grow for contingency situations. And the unrestricted funds, those are the ones that when it's time to need extra money in the checking account to cover whatever roads or whatever monthly things, we pull from that, but we never touch the unrestricted ones.
Thank you, that's helpful.
Is there an efficient way to get away from that suspended ceiling?
Yeah, you could use some exposed spiral duct or something like that. I just don't want to put the ductwork up in the attic. That's a bad
I
idea.
understand that.
But you could put the ductwork exposed and pipe it out that way. I've seen that done many times. You're gonna have a 10-foot ceiling, so having a duct that sticks down that's 12 inches or something.
If you don't wanna see it, you can just box it off, right?
Are you talking about making it a plenum rated ceiling then? If you did the ducting up there, and then you wouldn't have to do the hard lid ceiling above the drop?
No, I would want to put the hard ceiling above it to keep the attic in the attic and the usable space inside the usable space. I just find that works better.
Sure.
That's what I did on the school administration building when I did it, and it just works really well to do it that way.
Okay.
Dawn, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to the operating costs. Mark, thanks for putting that chart together. I guess I would like to see a few more things added to that chart, including insurance costs, what those are monthly or annually, however you're doing it. Garbage recycling, don't forget to add that. And then septic maintenance.
What about
because-
garbage recycling?
Add it to the cost.
Oh,
Garbage and recycling
Yeah.
for the whatever you have for. I don't know,
We'd
you
have
pay
our
a fee on
same,
Yeah.
it'd be just one more pickup. So
We
it'd be
mean
the
that
200 and some dollars
Yeah,
a year.
right.
And then septic maintenance, because sometimes, that's a lot
Every-
pricier than what we think it's gonna be.
Well, every
Every
2
3 years. 3
you
years.
gotta pump it, so.
Well, last month I told them that I would take care of the snow plowing and the lawn mowing until I'm not able to do it.
And he agreed to come to my house and do mine too.
Buzzy.
I was out there this winter.
But
And then I do have one more thing, the people who are gonna live next to this building or near this building, is there gonna be light pollution? Are we gonna have those big lights on in the parking lot all night long? And then do we need to add security to that budget? Is there gonna be a security service or some sort of alarm? So something to consider. I know we'll have internet and we'll, there'll be a ring camera or whatever, but is there gonna be something else? So something else to consider to budget for.
A lot of questions that we haven't got answers for yet, but they're all good points to bring up. We appreciate that. Was there another hand back there too?
Yeah, Ray and Mr. Fish were talking about the ceiling. Will that address the, for lack of a better word, acoustics that we experienced in this room and in the gymnasium where you can't hear?
Yeah.
It will help. And quite frankly, if you use a carpeted floor, like a carpet tile like this, that will help too.
Yeah.
And I don't think the acoustics are too bad in this room. They're not good over there. But there's nothing, sound is vibration. Anything that can break up the vibration, such as, an irregular surface like a carpet or a grainy ceiling tile or something like that, all helps with the vibrations and keeping that down.
I just hate to see it, a new building go up and it doesn't address current issues.
Good
And
point.
when you said you like the shingle roof better, how long does the shingle roof compared to metal roof usually last?
It depends on which one you go with, but typically a shingle roof is good for about 20 to 25 years. Anybody that sells you a flavor
Trust
your
me,
roof.
Right.
We all live in the real world here.
I know a steel roof is a little more expensive, but
It is.
I just put up a portion on the house, my house, that has the textured
Mhm.
metal. And I've had, in my other house was a metal roof also. And that's been there 26 years, and there's not a dent from any hail in it.
As far as
Just
a metal
like-
roof is concerned, go to Baraboo. Look around Baraboo. You see metal roofs everywhere. They were put up so long ago that they look horrible, but nobody's replacing them because they never leak. You can get a ton of longevity. You can get 50 years out of it if you
Yeah.
maintain it properly and a hailstorm doesn't come through. I just never been a big fan of a metal roof.
Yeah, well,
That's more of a personal preference. I can
I'm just
coordinate
looking
things
at
for
longevity,
however anybody wants to do it.
yeah.
Don't they make an impact resistant steel roof now?
It's a lot of paper.
That's what I got on my.
Depends on what it's
Yeah.
hitting, but they also have metal shingles. They're extremely pricey,
Yeah,
but those things, you can get a hailstorm that comes through and you can't tell that anything
Yeah.
came through it.
yeah,
And right now, this is just lines on paper
Right.
and pixie dust and floating in the air. Nothing is set, so, if this does proceed forward, it's all part of the design. We'd have to come up with answers on
I'm
all
just
these
kind of
different-
curious if, the longevity on
Yeah.
shingle.
Yeah, longevity, 20 to 25 years.
Do you have something, Brad?
I'm just asking if that had a spray foam
No.
in your bid, or it's,
No, this would be a batted,
Batted.
fiberglass bats. I'm trying to be budget
no, I
conscious.
know.
Yes.
And I just had one more thing. It's, I know I can't be here on April 21st, but I'm concerned about the annual costs versus what we're doing now versus the annual operating costs. I understand you've saved so much money to be able to build this, but is that opportunity cost? That annual cost, that increased expense each year, is that going to be something we can maintain, and is it worth it? Is that, 500 versus 3,300 so far, is that worth it? If we could be here, it could be 1 year, it could be 10 years, but is that opportunity cost worth it right now? And especially at a time when the economy is still up and down. So, that's what I'm concerned about, is that annual cost, that operating cost, because once it's built, it's built.
Right, absolutely. It's gotta be taken care of. And so, and as we look down the road, should have we built it 10 years ago, it might have been $200,000. Or you wait 10 more years and it'll be $800,000. So,
Things have doubled since 2019.
yeah, and so there's all kinds, I guess we can make an argument for every side of it, and appreciate your comments, and it's something I guess we need to find out whether if you would all vote right now, and this was our annual meeting, you'd say to go ahead with it. That gives the town board an opportunity to look at it, but that doesn't mean we have to do it. It means you gave us to go ahead to look at the process and to do it if it's feasible. But if we look at it and say it's gonna be 600,000, we don't have enough money for it, we're not gonna go in debt, then, it would just back away.
Would a steel building be possible?
It would be, what happens is typically a steel building compared to a wood building, steel becomes more cost effective from 60-foot spans and up. A wood building is typically 60-foot spans and down is the more cost effective option. Plus, if you do a wood building, think about maintenance. Would you know how to go up and fix a pre-engineered steel standing seam roof versus, okay, we got a shingle issue or something like that? It's easier to maintain in a wood frame situation.
Anything else?
Have we ever figured out how we're gonna notify the population for the elections?
We're gonna force them all to get emails.
For the annual meeting, you mean?
I don't know.
Gotta give everybody an email address. We have not figured that out.
We did
think
discuss advertisement at the election tomorrow.
Yeah.
That
There's gonna
is a
be-
help.
Will there be a handout or just something on the
We're
post?
just gonna post something on the wall about it and then, talk to people as they're here.
Okay.
But we've already, we put it in our newsletters. It's been in the monthly meetings. It's on the website.
Will the website be updated with the information you've received tonight?
Yeah, we just received some of the information, so
Yeah.
we'll add to it for sure.
This was put together in a very short timeline.
Yeah. We've been squeezing you pretty hard on it. 1 month to the next doesn't give much time. And I will research that.
So do you anticipate taxes being increased because of this?
We cannot increase your taxes because of this. The word I'm looking for, tax levy is set by the state of Wisconsin.
Well, set by the owner, the
Yeah.
residents.
Yeah,
We
well-
set that. We set our own. You get the levy is set, and you guys, it doesn't get approved unless the residents approve
Right.
the increase. So it's already set, and the only time it gets improved, and there is no request to increase the levy to help pay for this. And as Kelly pointed out, we don't feel like there's any need to.
No. But we can only raise so much for taxes unless we come back to another public meeting and get approval or to increase taxes for any purposes, whether it be roads or buildings or,
Well, the board can't increase the levy ever.
no.
They never can. They can never.
No,
increase
but I
it.
mean, the state has got us stuck at what's it?
Well, they have a levy limit,
Right, and that's where we're stuck.
and that's
basically.
where you are, right? So it can't be increased unless the residents approve it.
We've been dealing with that same levy limit for the past 25 years, I think, at this point. So as far as the town tax, when you see all these different increases, the county, I think, is still stuck at a levy too, but it's a little bit different. But a lot of it's schools and MATC and all that stuff that affect their taxes more so than anything we can do at this level. So. Anything else?
I'm surprised the tax question was the last question. First.
Well, they know we're fiscally responsible. I think we've always been fiscally responsible, and I hope we can continue that way. So
Can you run for Congress?
I'd run as far away as I could.
I got one other quick question.
Okay.
So how would this be, set on this acre that we're talking about?
That would all have to be determined. I guess the shape of the lot, if it was square, I guess, I don't know if we put the front towards road or you put the front to the north on it. I guess none of these things have been determined. Did you have any?
Is there any restrictions on lot lines? Like how far you have to be
10
away
feet.
from
Oh,
the
yeah,
lot?
you've got restrictions for side yard, front yard, backyard,
Yeah.
all of that. And right now, this is just lines on paper. And it's, the design stuff is all out of my head. We haven't even had a meeting or anything on this. And so I've never even seen the property before.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because it borders right up to our property.
Ideally,
And
I think we would, and they might be wrong, but back the back of the building towards your property and have all the activity on the north side of the property to where you would have very little problems where any kind of disturbances from us, basically.
Typically,
they drive
you
with-
face the front of the building towards the road.
I said at one of the first meetings that we started this, that I wanted it in the northeast corner of the acre, so it would be as far away from their property as possible.
Okay,
So
but
you could-
like I said, none of these
you could
things
face
are,
it to the south and have the parking lot, and then it'd be farther away, and if you face it towards the road, then it'll be a little closer.
Makes sense.
and I believe as long as you're willing to donate the property, we're willing to go along with whatever direction you've got in your mind. Yeah, and I'll have to do some research with DNR wardens and a few things to find out exactly what, being that it's a municipal building, if there is a shooting requirement or anything like that, but
Just a question that was brought up to me quite a while ago. When you first started this, we heard the school was gonna give you 6 acres over by French's Creek. Why not take a 6-acre parcel versus 1 acre? Just question why.
I don't think, was there 6 acres?
Yeah, it's a 6-acre piece from on Monty, right after Wilcox there comes over. And be honest with you, obviously there's no decision made on where we would build, right? So this is all just discussion. And until the town decides, yes, we can do it, then there are basically 4 options that we've been given: 2 that we could buy land from and 2 donated. And so at that time, the board would have to kind of decide, well, which of the 4 options is the best, right? The piece along Monty, I would tell you, is probably not very, the piece that the Portage Schools is willing to donate to us is probably not very desirable just due to the grade, and that you're basically going right down into the swamp with it. And you'd have to clear a ton of land and bring a ton of fill in. It's just not a very good piece of land to build a town hall on.
To probably
Just
have
curious.
some of the
So
septic
it
system
would
there,
hurt.
too.
What?
Do you think it would work?
I doubt it would perk, but
Yeah.
that's I'm not an expert. But so it's just not a really solid solution
Right.
from our perspective. But at the end of the day, we're just talking about, like, will the residents let us build? And if so, at that point, they'll have to explore all 4
There
options.
again's where it's hard, right? Because we don't spend a lot of time and stuff on it till we know, because you don't want to get bids from people to waste their time if it's not something that's even
Right.
remotely possible.
The school property, I was a little concerned about security because that's really, nobody lives there or anybody, right? I mean, that's kind of desolate there, and night times and whatever goes on, it would be a security concern, but like I said, if it's that Monty Road where the old asparagus patch used to be, and that tapers right down into the swamp there, you would have.
I wasn't there.
It's so
Yeah.
funny how
Yeah.
many
I thought it was
people.
over Where they had the parking lot.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that
We
was-
asked for that piece.
But they've got plans for that piece over there,
Yeah.
and so they wanted that other piece they have no plans for, but it's not, yeah.
It just,
No, and
Curiosity.
no, that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
No questions, off limits here, basically. So. Anything else? Then I guess we'll move on to our new business. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate all your comments and questions, and if you have anything that comes up, don't be afraid to contact any one of your members here, that we're all here to answer your questions and make sure everybody knows what's going on, so.
Have a great
Thank
night,
you.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time, Kent. Item A, transportation resolution. when we went to our Towns Association conventions, Towns Association
So many.
has a resolution that they want to send to the state to help try to encourage the state to give more road aid money and more, I guess, look at a couple, at least look at our town roads as well as they do your city and streets, city streets and big. I mean, all your big municipalities, what I'm trying to say, get the big dollars, you know, money goes to your bus lines and all these things in the big cities, and out here, basically we get the smaller portion of the funds, and so basically the Towns Association has got a resolution that they'd like us, all the towns to sign. There's 1,200 and some towns in the state of Wisconsin. They would like everybody to have this turned in until they can take it to the state when the legislation session starts for new dollars to help with the local economy. So I guess you guys have a chance to look at it. You're in favor of us signing it? Or?
I think so.
Okay. Want to make a motion? You made the motion. You want a second?
Second.
Okay, you got a motion and a second to approve the resolution that we're gonna turn into the Towns Association to go to the state, so. All in favor? Aye, opposed, hearing none, motion carried. Tuesday, 4/2,
Today's 4/6.
4/6. Month is going by
Jeez,
pretty
I
fast.
was gonna say,
2 already.
putting us back a week already.
I'm still back in February. Going by too fast. And while they're signing that, I guess we can move on. I guess you're next up on the agenda, Rusty. You care to tell us what you want to do, or you want me to proceed?
Just separating out my house and
Oh, okay.
buildings.
Okay, you're from the Groveman Association.
Yeah.
You want to present that for us, then I'll go through it?
Yeah, so Rusty's planning on lotting off about 8 acres around his house and buildings out there off of Highway E. And then, in accordance with the county ordinance, we're gonna be restricting, the northerly 27 or so acres. So that way we're maintaining our 35 acre building density. But yeah, similar to that there. But yeah, that's pretty much what the gist of it is. Just lot off that 8 acres around the house and put A4 overlay on that northern portion.
Will there have to be an easement to get back to that, or?
Yeah, so we left on the southern property line there, we left a 60-foot strip to down the road if a driveway wanted to be applied for through the county highway department, there is that option. Otherwise, we were also planning on running easement along the right-of-way line of County Highway E down to that 60-foot strip, and then you could continue onward with the driveway to the west that way.
Okay. You guys got any questions or concerns? Pretty standard what we're doing today with a A4 overlay and will the building site be rural residential or will that still be ag?
That'll still be
That'll
A1.
stay ag, A1, okay. Yeah, I guess I see no problem with it, so. Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve the zoning.
We'll second.
Okay, we got a motion, the second, to approve the rezoning of cutting off the acreage and the A4 overlay on the remaining acreage that cannot be added to another building site, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, hearing none, motion carried. Alrighty then, guess
Thank
we're
you
all
for
set
your
at this one.
consideration.
That's not a problem, so that'll have to go up through the county yet.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll get the paperwork, Mark will get the paperwork into the current county and, I'm not sure when the next meeting is, but. Alrighty,
Next week.
thank you guys,
All right,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Yep, sorry it took so long to get to it, but busy
No
night.
problem. Thanks, Alex.
Spicer Cemetery mowing. Yes, sir.
See if we're gonna apply to mow the cemetery again this year for $175, just like the other year,
Same as last year.
same as last year.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to let it continue as it did last year.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to allow, Matt Patson to mow the Spicer Cemetery like he did last year for the same amount of money as he got last year. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. And then Brett Conley, I guess came in a little bit late for, polling list for voters, to work at the polls, and I guess he's turned in his paperwork and got his training, so I guess basically what we wanna do is just add him to the polling list, so. I guess I would entertain a motion on that if it's. you
Yeah,
guys-
I'll make a motion. And we had Brett.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to add Brett Conley to the voting list. Poll worker list is what I mean to say. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried. County supervisor.
Yeah, so I think last month I had told you that the administrator for the healthcare center was retiring. And tomorrow we have the final interviews for two people that have applied for that, and they're both qualified people, so we will have a replacement for her. In regard to that piece of property that I talked about,
Moisina.
yeah, that got tabled again, so we still don't know what's going on with that. But we'll probably figure that out at this coming meeting this month. And then we did have a discussion at the last meeting about the sheriff's pay. It's a little different because he's a voted on position, so he's not a part of the wages with everybody else. So there was some feelings about how he was getting paid, but we ultimately voted to increase his pay to keep him above the second in command, so to speak. So those are the big items of note
Okay.
that have happened in the last month in county. Anybody have any questions for me?
What about CM over here?
What about CM?
It's in the 5-year
His
plan.
favorite
Last time
subject.
that Sam was paid, I was running the paver.
That's all coming your way.
We'll bring the laptop with the mule.
We'll get a bunch of roots out there.
So in answer to your question about CM, I have been working that from a few different angles, and I would say that our current highway commissioner is more sensitive than the last one. But there's an idea that we have to apply for the grants, and that would upgrade the highway. We'd have to rebuild the base and stuff like that, and that requires a lot of paperwork with the DNR being where it runs.
The bridges are both gonna get done too, I imagine?
Yes, we want to do the bridges before the road,
Okay.
especially the one that's the old wooden bridge, because that bridge is about ready to be.
They're both wooden, aren't they?
Well, yes, but I'm thinking about the one.
Fox,
Yeah, over the Fox. So, I guess where I'm going with that bridge is the postings are gonna start going down on it.
Yeah.
What it can carry. So, I would just as soon prefer us to just stay within our lines and just overlay the highways but that is more, that's something that doesn't allow us to get access to some of these grants as easy, if that makes sense. When you get a hold of these grants, then they start requiring you to upgrade.
Well, all that cold mix they put in the potholes, the snowplow puts it in the creek, so it's kind of a waste of time, isn't
Well, it keeps you from jumping through a pothole for a time.
it? Yeah.
If they can refill them in the spring, they'll last most of the summer.
Yeah.
No, it's a rough road, and like I said, there is grants. In order to get them, you gotta jump through the hoops, and
I think that there's more urgency with that road every year, but that
So are they, is there a way they can just do the worst portions? I mean, there's good parts of the road, or is that what they're doing? Are they doing the?
well, I will push for that to happen with the worst portions. They were supposed to have come through and done some overlays on the worst portions last fall, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, so. Well, it's too bad, I don't wanna get started.
yeah, I mean,
I
you know,
mean,
if they filled the potholes and even chip sealed it would help.
Yeah,
And
For
so
sure.
there is some cosmetic things that we can do, I think, but it's just gotta be decided, so.
Regrind it, spray it with oil, better.
Till the snowplow come along.
So they gotta learn how to run the plow.
Alrighty, anything else we got? All right, moving along. Communications, you got anything?
I just have, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation sent out that, they're developing, in case anybody's interested, for this I-39 9094 corridor project, which seems to be continually expanding and changing even from the time that it originally got approved. But there's a new website out. So if you go on to the Wisconsin Department of Department of Transportation's website, you'll see that they've got a new website that there's a link on there that'll take you right to what they call the corridor project. So if you're interested in seeing what they're doing and how they're changing it and their timetable and everything, go ahead and search that out. But that's the only update I have for communications.
Okay. I guess I really don't have anything. Kelly didn't have anything.
Nope, I didn't have nothing.
Alrighty, I guess we need, pay the bills. Somebody wanna make a motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
We got a motion, a second to pay the bills, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Bills to be paid. Spring election tomorrow. Portage Fund Management District meeting, I got that coming up on the 13th. The 4 towns meet and talk about our fire equipment and EMS and things like that. That'll be out at the Pacific Town Hall. Annual meeting here on the 21st, which will be important, I guess, for the Town Hall project, if it moves forward or not. And then our regular board meeting will be May 4th. Open book, July 21st. I had a call on that the other day from a resident, non-resident actually, landowner. Board review in August, so the year's shot already. Thank you, everybody, for coming. You guys wanna-
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Got a motion, a second to adjourn, all in favor? Aye, opposed, hearing none. Thank you for coming.
7:38.
Thanks you for everybody for your comments and your input, and we will see you on the 21st. I won't be here tomorrow until late.